And welcome to Justice Serve TV. Michael Bryant here. Linda Kenny Bodden still on assignment, but a couple of things I wanted to get to real quickly here. Can we get the breaking news sounder? You know, boop, 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 boop. No, we don't have that? Okay, we don't have one. I had just done an amazing update on the Adelson case, Donna Adelson in Tallahassee, going to trial for the death of Mr. Dan Markle. And then something happened. It stopped. It pulled up short. And it all relates to a filing that we talked about in this other tremendous update I did that was easily my best work, but it's going right in the dumper. So, as you recall, background here, Mr. Markle, professor at FSU, murdered by a hitman who was later convicted of that murder, as was the girlfriend of Charlie Adelson, the brother-in-law of the victim, for helping set up the hitman. So you have those two; those were convicted. Ms. Benoit and Mr. Garcia convicted. Charlie, the brother who helped in that orchestration, according to a jury, guilty. He goes away. Well, his attorney, a guy by the name of Rashbaum, turns out to be the same attorney that his mom, Donna Adelson, is using. Donna, allegedly the mastermind behind this whole conspiracy, using Charlie, her son, Wendy, the daughter who has the custody fight with Dan Markle. And they put this scheme all together. So now she's the last domino to fall, really. And her trial was set to begin today in Tallahassee with jury selection. But this filing by the appellate attorneys for Charlie Adelson, who was going to testify in this trial, I say was, I guess it'll happen at some point, maybe not today, tomorrow, next week. But he files a motion with the court saying that basically he's going to invoke his Sixth Amendment rights. It's a conflict of interest. How can I, Charlie Adelson, already convicted, have the same attorney as Donna Adelson now going to trial with the same basic operative facts and the same ultimate crime, the murder of Dan Markle? Well, the judge decided, I don't know what the hell's going on here. And so he's put the brakes on the case. It was going to be, like I said, the kind of the crescendo of this whole, as the Adelsons turn on one another saga, as I call it. Was this some clever, masterminded idea that Charlie and Donna Adelson concocted? Because it seems to me common sense, and we talked about it back in the long crime days when we were doing this Charlie Adelson case, and prior to that. Why would Donna Adelson get the same attorney as Charlie Adelson? A moron could see that there's an inherent conflict of interest. And so now by Charlie Adelson's appellate attorney saying, hey, Charlie Adelson should not be cross-examined by Mr. Rashbaum or anybody on the defense team because of this conflict. It's just, I think the legal word I'm looking for is stupid. It's just stupid to get this scenario play out, to let it play out like it is, to have 100 prospective jurors show up at the courthouse, to go through all the wranglings that the court administrator had to get this thing set up. A massive courtroom, 105 seats available in that courtroom. It's big. To do all that and not pull the string on this conflict, not to address it earlier, everybody dropped the ball on this. And I don't know if it was part of a master plan to delay the inevitable as it relates to Donna Adelson or just stupidity. I don't know. Okay, one other thing we're going to talk about since I got you today. That whole P. Diddy thing. You may have heard something about that. P. Diddy, that's one of his names. I'll give you the rest in just a moment. Finally indicted in this alleged sex trafficking scheme. We know there are about 10 lawsuits now pending against Mr. Diddy, and they will continue to pend while now the criminal element plays out. But we remember the Cassandra Ventura lawsuit that came up and was resolved the next day and settled. Then we saw the video come out a few months later that basically tracked everything that was said in the civil lawsuit. Well, now the guts of those civil lawsuits have really made their way into the criminal matter, as this indictment is basically for sex trafficking, account of RICO violations, basically the usual gang organization type allegations. The Mann Act, which is suggesting that there were minors transported over state lines for inappropriate sexual purposes. And so those are the three biggies. This is, and let me give you something here that is going to be a cornerstone of this case, because it is freaky. And that happens to be also part of what it's called. According to this indictment, Combs suggested victims to physical, emotional, and verbal abuse to cause the victims to engage in freakouts That's what he was calling them. These freak. I'm sorry, freak offs. Sorry, I got my freak out of line. Freak offs. Now, if you're looking at the indictment, page 6, paragraph A is the key. And I love reading on TV. It's probably my second favorite thing to do, other than just eating on TV. Always good stuff. This is 6A. Let me just read you this bit. Freak offs were elaborate and produced sex performances that Combs arranged, directed, masturbated during, and often electronically recorded. So, aside from being about a 20 on the 0 to 10 ooh factor, these freak offs are critical because not just of the nature of these events, if true, but they're allegedly recorded, a lot of them. And I believe the evidence in this case against Sean P. Diddy is going to be primarily these videos. And these videos, I'm sure, also were used to help, I don't know, maybe convince other potential co-conspirators, there's a RICO charge, to help the cops. I think that's possible. So on the name front, just to point out here, they list him as Sean Combs, a.k.a. Puff Daddy, a.k.a. P. Diddy, a.k.a. Diddy, a.k.a. PD, a.k.a. Love. When I interviewed this guy about, 20 years ago now at the, I think it was the DNC in Boston. I just did an interview. I was with that, hard-hitting news magazine Extra at the time. So I interview him, and he has a T-shirt on under a suit jacket. And I just couldn't tell what it was kind of closed, so I couldn't tell what it was. So I finish the interview, and I reach in to kind of pull back his jacket so I could see what the T-shirt says. Oh, no. There were lots of burly guys that stopped me from doing that. Now, I don't know if he was packing. I don't know if P. Diddy, Puff Daddy. I think he was Puff Daddy back then. I don't know if he had a gun, but I'm pretty sure his people did. So you don't go reaching for Puff Daddy's jacket at any point, at any time. A little something I learned and happy to share with you. At this point, though, he's got bigger problems than an interview with me. We'll keep an eye on this, obviously, as it continues to unfold. This is some serious stuff. And one other wrinkle within this complaint that I think that I found interesting. We think of criminal and civil, meaning, criminal, you're going away if you get convicted. Civil, you're paying a lot of money if there's a judgment against you and you're found liable. You can get a civil type penalty in a criminal case, money. How'd they do it in this case? If you read this indictment, you'll see they're looking for a forfeiture of funds. That is normal. That is funds tied to the illegal activity. So if they have a RICO organized activity, they've proven they can trace any of that activity to a pot of money, boom, they can seize that money. Even more so, in this case, they use an additional portion of the USC to say that even if there is money that is not tied to those criminal acts, if we believe you're hiding money that was connected to the criminal acts, we can seize funds and assets that were not tied to the criminal acts. So they got them both coming and going. So this is quite the mess for P. Diddy, Sean, Puffy, Combs. And we will continue to follow it here, of course, on this channel. Like, subscribe, and what's the other one? Share. Oh, before I forget, starting a new little thing here at Justice Served TV. Look at it. Check this out. This is the graphic department working on this here. Nice little mug. How would you get that? Well, we're gonna start kind of popping up wherever. And I'm not sure where. Maybe a big trial that's underway. Maybe a story that we think needs more attention. So we're trying to answer the question: where in the world is justice? That's what we want to find out here, Justice Served TV. And we're going to kind of give you some hints, perhaps, and then you can guess where we're going to be. And if you're the first to guess correctly, you get the mug. Okay, it'd be a coveted, very select item. If you lose, you get 2 mugs. No, if you're the first to tell us correctly where we're going to pop up, we'll send you a mug. It's the least we can do. And I always try to do the least I can do. Thanks for tuning in. Share, like, subscribe. We'll keep you in touch.